Hi, welcome back to the Deeper Yes. I'm so glad you've come back for another week. I know we're a day late in getting this uploaded. That's my fault with the holiday weekend. I just lost track of time. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about our topic, progress over perfection, and so perfect that I'm coming to you perfectly imperfect today, not fully put together. But that's what I love about this. It's just one woman talking to another woman, being real, being authentic, and just hoping and praying each week that this touches you in a special spot, a deep place, and that it makes you think about another woman that you could share this with and help. So yeah, let's just dive right in and get going. I had this thought, and that's kind of where today's podcast came from, that most of us as women are just exhausted. Not necessarily because we're failing at something, but really more because we're trying so hard to do everything perfect or just right or check all the boxes or look put together in a way that maybe just doesn't feel real or authentic to who we are. So some of us are working on perfect healing. I went through that for quite a while. Perfect routines, again, looking like we have it all together. Perfect at motherhood, that we never fall, we never make a mistake, we never lose our cool. We're going to talk about how unreal that is for all of us. Perfect bodies, right? That our bodies are a certain size, that there's no cellulite, that there's no flab, all those things. Again, not necessarily realistic, right? And perfect faith, even like, oh, we never mess up, we never sin. I'm here to tell you that's not real either. And so, we're going to address all this because I think what's happened for so many of us as women is that somewhere along the way, we stopped living our lives and we started performing our lives. And so we really want to talk about how do we break free from that and how do we unpack that. And so that's kind of what led me to, gosh, I really want to talk about progress over perfection and differentiating what that is and what that looks like. And I just think what happens when, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience as a recovered perfectionist, when we're always striving for perfection, we really are stealing our own peace from ourselves. And so we want to break that, right? We want to break that cycle. We want to break that behavior and we want to break that routine. So what is perfection really? What is it? I think that perfection disguises itself honestly as responsibility. Well, I'm just being responsible. And so, but we come across as, we're striving for this perfection. I think that when we look like we have it all put together, we get a lot of praise from the world. Like, good job, way to go. She's amazing. Look at her. She never looks frazzled. She's not rattled. And so we get all this praise and that feels good, right? I think for some of us, it feels safe. Like, well, I just know this is my routine. Check the box. And so it feels like a safe place when we're striving for this perfectionism or we're making it look like we're perfect. But what I have found in my own journey is that only creates a temporary sense of control and safety. That's not really real and it's not sustaining. So what's underneath this idea of striving for perfectionism? Well, there's this fear of failure. There's a fear of rejection. There's a fear of disappointing others, which that was a lot for me, I think. And that's another topic we'll talk about on another podcast about people pleasing and breaking free of that. So that fear of disappointing others was big. A fear of not being enough. I'm just not enough. If they really knew the real me, they probably wouldn't like me, right? So we put this mask on, so we'll talk about that too. Again, not true. We're going to break through these lies together. So perfectionism isn't usually about excellence. It's really about protection. How are we protecting ourselves from being ourselves and knowing ourselves and letting other people know the real us? how does this impact women? Because this is really what I feel like my podcast is about. Like, for us as women, how do we break uh, the lies that we've lived in for so long and move forward and buy into what is God's truth of our value and our worth and our significance? So, as we strive for perfectionism, what is that really doing to women, and how is that impacting women? Well, for a lot of us, it impacts our nervous system, and we suddenly are in this fight or flight, high cortisol place. So that's not a good thing. That's not serving us well. For a lot of people that have autoimmune, so I'm one of those people, and we're working in this striving for healing. That's impacting the healing of our autoimmune when we're still kind of stuck in this space, in this behavior of perfectionism. It can impact our emotional health. It can impact our relationships. It can impact our faith, because maybe we start doubting different things, or questioning in a way that's not questioning we're trying to learn and grow, but questioning with that doubt. So there's a lot of impact that's not good that perfectionism can have on us as women. A body constantly striving rarely feels safe enough to heal. Perfection, keeps many women stuck because they are waiting till they believe they have it all together, or they can do something flawlessly to begin, whatever that is. And I can speak about myself in that. Like, listen, I think I said in one of my first episodes, I felt very strongly God tugging at my heart for quite a while to start this podcast. And I wasn't doing it. I wasn't stepping out in faith. I wasn't stepping out in obedience. I wasn't being consistent in my yes, in my deeper yes to that. And I didn't really think it was fear about perfectionism. I thought it had everything to do with the technology side of this. But the truth is, there probably was some fear, because I felt like I didn't know what I didn't know. And how would I be able to serve people well? So I just didn't step into it. So I can just speak from experience that held me back from starting. So I'm so thankful that I've decided I'm not going to let that be a stumbling block anymore. We're just going to move forward together, locking arms, and working to become the best version of ourselves, and to break ourselves free from the lies that have held us in bondage for so long. And we are going to step into our worth and our significance and our value. And we're going to let our light shine, ladies. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so perfectionism says, if I can do it perfectly, I'll finally feel worthy. And I just shared with you my own little bit of my story. Not true. That's not where my worth comes from. It doesn't come from how I look to everybody else on the outside. It comes from God above, right? He's built that worth into me. So we'll get into that. Healing teaches us worth was never something we had to earn. That is something I learned as we're healing, as we're striving to heal. I've really learned that where our worth comes from, and it's not from that perfectionism. So I hope that is landing with you a little bit and touching you in a special way. Okay, so what in the world does progress actually look like then? Nancy, you've mentioned progress over perfection, but like, what does it look like tangibly? What is it? I think we talked last week about taking small steps, one small change a week. So I just want to reiterate that, like, small baby steps, even if it's just one step and change a week, what that does and what that leads to is building and stacking healthy habits on top of each other, so that becomes your norm. That becomes where you start living consistently over that idea of intensity. I'm not living intensely and having to check all my boxes. I'm just getting consistent at doing these small steps, these small baby steps, these small changes week after week, and it's becoming a healthy habit for me. And it's just creating in my brain new pathways that are speaking truth to my heart, right? That's what we want. Okay, learning instead of trying to prove to ourselves. So being in a place of being teachable and learning, and how can I grow? And gosh, I didn't know what I didn't know. Let me be open to maybe learning something new that I thought I knew and I didn't know. That is going to lead you to progress over perfection. And that is going to take you out of that space of feeling like you always have to prove yourself to somebody or to the world. And here's another one, just giving yourself grace in the process. I think a lot of us are probably really good at giving grace to everybody else around us, whether that's our family, whether that's friends, even strangers that maybe are having a hard day. But we're probably not so good at giving grace to ourselves. So I think that's something we want to learn and hone in on that skill. Like, I'm a work in progress. So let me give myself some grace, because sometimes I'm not going to get it right, but it doesn't mean I'm a failure. It means I recognize I didn't get it right. And how can I change it for the future? How can I get better? So grace in the process, I think, is so important. So what are some examples of some of these steps? Well, some people might hold themselves back from moving and working out because they're like, I don't have the time, I don't have a great workout schedule, I don't have a routine, someone hasn't told me what I should do so that I do the perfect workout. And so we get stuck and we get stagnant. Well, what if you just took a walk? That's movement. You're out in the sunlight. We talked about that last week. You're out in nature, you're out being quiet, or you're out filling your head with that learning. So just take a walk, even if you can't get the perfect workout in. That means you've done something. You've treated your body and mind well that day. So why not give yourself grace in that? Take a walk. Resting without guilt. I've learned this over the many, many years, and I have embraced it. I didn't always embrace it, but because I felt like, oh, I should be doing something. This shoulda, coulda, wouldas. But we want to like break that too. There's nothing about that that's serving you well and building you up. It's holding you back. And so learning to rest without the guilt. And I've learned more recently in the last couple of months, and that rest usually does not have my phone in my hand, because that's not true rest. I'm still like scrolling or doing whatever. And so putting the phone aside and resting and being still, it's okay. It's good. Your body's going to appreciate it, and your mind's really going to appreciate it. Okay, showing up imperfectly. That's me today. You guys are getting me in my sweatshirt. I'm not fully put together. I went for a walk with my dog. It's a little warm out today, so my hair had a field day, but it's okay, because this is who I am, and it's real, and I want you to see like we're real women here, breathing life into each other and wanting the best for each other and pulling each other up by our bootstraps, right? And locking arms so that we can become the best version of ourselves. So it's okay to show up imperfectly. If you're looking for someone polished, I'm probably not your person with the podcast. I am not going to be one of those women that are perfectly polished, because I want you to know what real life looks like. And I want you to know that me meeting with you matters more than if I'm looking fully put together and polished. So imperfectly showing up is okay. In my opinion, I believe imperfectly showing up is actually a good thing. Speaking kindly to yourself. I learned this years ago that I wasn't speaking kindly to myself. And the things I would say to myself, you guys, were things I would never say to another human being. And so I really felt through some trainings I went through some prayer time that I spent, through having other people pray me up, I really felt hit hard in my heart that, Nancy, you are talking to yourself in a way you would never talk to another human being. And why is that okay? It's not okay. So learning to speak kindly to myself, my body's listening, especially on this last journey of healing over the last 3-4 years. I wasn't talking nice to myself because I was mad at my body, and my body was listening. And no wonder my healing took so much longer, because I had to learn to shift my mind and start thanking my body for the things it was doing right. And it was trying to protect me in the midst of all that sickness and illness and mind stuff that wasn't healthy and wasn't good and wasn't rooted in truth. And so I just learned to change the way I spoke to myself. And I want to encourage you guys to do the same, because it was a huge improvement in my health journey. Okay, so just reminders, progress is often quiet. It's not loud and shouting from the rooftop. It rarely looks impressive in the moment. Sometimes it feels like, just doing the same thing. I could almost feel like boredom, but you're moving in the right direction, and you're moving forward, and you're not stagnant, and you're not moving backward. So it's okay if it doesn't look impressive in the moment. But what it does is it changes everything over time. I am a testament to that, and that's why I'm coming here with you to share every week, because it did change everything, because I learned to be consistent in the progress part of my journey. Okay, so I don't believe that God is asking us to perform our way into peace. As a matter of fact, I know God is not asking us to perform our way into peace. He is peace. He grows peace in us. He fills us with his peace. He fills us to overflowing with his peace and joy. He's just asking us to take the steps to join him and move forward in the journey, and to participate, not to sit back, not to try to outperform what his plan and purpose are for us. What does some of that look like? I'll just share for me personally, what some of that looks like, and I pray that it lands with you. You've probably heard a lot about surrender, 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 and yes, the word I've been using more frequently now than the word surrender is yield. Just really yielding myself to the journey and the progress, and not trying to be in control of all of it, because again, that is an area where I had to break free from thinking I had to be in control of everything. And so this idea of yielding brings me freedom, brings me that peace that I'm so desiring. So that's what it looks like for me, just saying, not about me today, not about my plans today, not about my words today, and just giving that back over to God so that he can do the work from inside of me and bring it outside and do the transformation work that needs to happen. So surrender, yield, whatever word really kind of lands with you. Letting go of the pressure, again, that I have to perform and check all the boxes. I'm a queen of loving a list and being able to check it off. It feels like huge accomplishment, but not having the pressure of, if I don't do all that, then I didn't succeed today and now I'm a flaw. No, I'm a work in progress. And so celebrating the parts that I did accomplish or achieve. So taking that pressure off. Again, those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, we're going to just squash them. They're not bringing you peace. Again, the word grace, it's one of my favorite words. I have it tattooed down by my ankle. I learned on my journey, my name means grace. So I'm so thankful for that, because I've really learned to give myself grace in the journey and the process. And I hope to help you guys do that too. And this idea, you've probably seen this all over social media, but this idea of like we're becoming versus we're trying to prove, right? So we're still a work in progress. You've heard this word all throughout this podcast today, and we're in that journey. We're taking those baby steps. We're learning to create healthy habits. We're learning to let go of the pressure. So you are becoming, and you will become the woman that you desire to become if you choose to participate in the process with it, and not just stay stagnant and still. without the work. We do have to do a little bit of work, ladies. We do have to decide to break ourselves free from the lies and the barriers and the bondage that have kept us stuck to what is not true. And that's my hope for today, and it's my hope for this podcast, and it's my hope for all future podcasts, that is really going to resonate with you and sit with you. So, just a reminder, maybe healing doesn't require you to become perfect. Maybe it's simply asking you to become honest, to become consistent, willing, and compassionate with yourself along the way. And I'd love for you to just ask yourself, be still, find that little moment of rest sometime today or this week, and ask yourself, where in my life have I been wanting or waiting to be perfect before allowing myself to actually begin something? I told you, for me, it was this podcast. So what is it for you? I'd love for you to put it in the comments or message me so we can dialogue. And just as I've said each week, if this episode encouraged you in any way, I'd love for you to share it with another woman who you think might be encouraged and might need this reminder today. And if you haven't already, I'm asking if you could follow me and subscribe to The Deeper Yes so that you don't miss any future conversations that we have each week. I pray for you, and I hope you have an amazing day. And I look forward to joining you next week.